Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my co-host over here, the Grease. Say hello, Grease.
Some say we never left, Will.
Well, we did leave. It was for 1 week. We were gone 1 week.
Well, I'm just saying I'm getting
in
that
between.
I'm getting that one messed up too. Mixed up.
Yeah, that's all you do. You
Right.
mix things up.
Right.
I really wish people could see the bizarre oddity of sample bottles that are underneath this part of the bar, because it's just a lot, and there's a lot of empties, a lot of things that aren't marked. I have a feeling that this bar is going to continue to accumulate stuff, and it's just going to keep getting messier and messier.
Right. I want everybody to know that on our store right now, patrons just got them, but we've got these new black Glens. They are available at the podcast.com/store.
That's right.
And there's a bundle deal too that you can get two of this one, or one of this one and one of Oak and Thieves, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
I do want to say what our buddy James said, because he sent us a text message because he got the swag today.
Yeah, he did. James Jenkins.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Good buddy. And he said, gotta scroll back.
It's below that.
Yeah, no, it's right here.
Oh.
He just said just opened a box from y'all and Melissa. And I love that use of y'all there for a California boy.
Yeah, for sure.
But he said containing a pair of Darth Vader's Glencairns. These things are sinisterly dope. Couldn't agree more.
Well, he's an educated man.
Yeah, he is.
Because there's a couple of words on there that I don't really follow. But let me go ahead and tell
dope is one of them.
Let me go ahead and tell you something about this Glen. Okay. Let's just say you're hanging out with the lady. You know what I'm saying? And like you might pour.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like you might strong arm it. You know what I mean? And like and she remembers the last time.
Yeah.
That your pour was like this.
Yeah.
And you were a total a-hole.
Yeah.
Guess what?
So what you're saying is you can hide your addiction. your bad behavior can be masked by the glasses. On second thought, we're pulling those down from the podcast.com/store. Do not go there.
Well, here's where it can get you.
Get you sleeping on the couch is where it could get you.
It could get you sleeping on the couch, but here's another way it'll get you. Let's just say you don't have to hide it. Let's just say, like, I don't know
cool.
I don't know how much is in there.
Yeah,
but how I'm a very visual man.
This is a photo you're gonna have to get.
Oh, I see it.
If you look inside, because of where it's etched, you can see
you can see the
darkness, and you see the podcast coming through.
Oh, right.
It's pretty cool. Check those out. Get them. But the
Oak and Thieves one though.
Well, we need to get to that. So we're announcing something tonight, and we're gonna bring on our buddies James and Bob from BS and Bourbon. Should I add them to the stream, or should I try to get some words out first?
Yeah, no, you should have.
Right.
I think they'll be a little bit more docile.
We added James, who clearly looks like he's has a newborn, which he does, and he has a dip in. So this is going to go as expected.
He's got a goalie shirt on.
Yeah, when he's drinking what appears to be like 18-year-old bourbon out of a water bottle, be very sure you notice that it's actually liquid going back into a bottle. He's not drinking from that. And Bob, as refined as ever, with a nicely trimmed beard and a glass of bourbon. Welcome, BS and Bourbon, James and Bob, to the podcast tonight.
Yes.
What's going
on? By the way, we've got people joining right now.
I know. I was asking them to say hello.
Oh,
yeah. Bob, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
So
we got some great news.
We did launch. We did a soft launch today to our patrons, because we people that have been supporting us, we wanted to make sure they got first crack at this and seeing it. Also, we wanted to see if it was going to be a complete flop or not. It was not. So
I did podcasters too.
Yeah. Your rollout was a little bit more liberal off of our plan, but it's okay. It's fine. My favorite comment is that you posted it, and then our buddy Ross goes, "What is this?" Because strategic communication is not the Grease's strong suit. He can make us look good. He can edit video.
I want to be noted that Will just said I make him look good.
Well, okay, so people may be questioning your skills because they're like, I don't think he does. All that to say is that we are launching.
James makes me look real good.
We are launching the Oak and Thieves Barrel Company. This is something we've been working on for a long time, and I do want to give Bob and James are incredible at picking barrels. They have very high standards for whiskey they pick, and they have some of the most talked about and coveted picks in kind of our communities. Russell's Man is like an all-time iconic pick, but also
one of the best Russells.
Oh yeah, by far
that has come out of Wild Turkey in a long time.
But Grease has also wanted to do something like this, and part of our frustration, I know it's been a frustration.
James was holding it up. James, hold it up.
Yeah,
again,
hold that, Russell.
So everybody can. I mean, they've probably seen it online.
And if you're listening to the podcast, it's basically a Red Man logo, but it says Russell's Man, like a chew pouch.
On brand. My mama's watching that now.
So we've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. One of the biggest frustrations that we've had is that we have had opportunities to pick really good barrels of whiskey, and they have had great opportunities in Georgia to pick really good barrels of whiskey. But it's very difficult for the podcast listeners that live in Washington State or in California or in Utah or in the Northeast, all over, to get their hands on it unless they're coming to Nashville to go to one of these stores, or they're going to Atlanta to visit these guys and pick up some whiskey. So we've been wanting to figure out, how do we do this legally and efficiently, but also our community isn't just here. Our community is all over the country and really all over the world, but this pertains to United States. And so when you went on that Four Roses pick, that was where all the ideas really gelled, and it was like, we got to kick it into overdrive because this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it all starts at community and wanting to get whiskey to our community.
Yeah, and honestly, Bob had the access to this incredible Four Roses pick that we're going to do later for the 15, but it's an 11-year OESO that we got to pick. Everybody kind of knows that that's what we landed on. But we just saw a unique opportunity to be able to lead off with that in the barrel program. And so we've got 100 available. And so, pretty much at all of the levels, if there's 100 or less, pretty much everybody's going to get one. I believe that, there might be, a couple of bottles per person on a higher tier if they're available to do that. But yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be available. It is a very coveted recipe in Four Roses. It's 11 years old. It's a beautiful whiskey. It was almost unanimous. I think there was one vote not for it. Was it John?
No, it was me.
Oh, it was you.
That checks
It was
out.
number 2. It was number 2.
Yeah. I mean, number 2 was amazing as well. But yeah, no, this one won out with those, and it was a great experience going on the road to Kentucky with James and Bob. It was my first pick ever with them. We had a blast, and on the way home, it was one of those things like, why don't we just do this more? What do y'all think? And they were like, yeah. let's do that. That sounds great.
So we're going to get into what tiers are and what the program is. But one, if you want to go ahead and check out those tiers right now, it's scrolling at the bottom. But if you're listening later at the podcast feed, it's oakandthieves.com. So like an oak tree and a whiskey thief is what you think. So that's the name of the company, the barrel program. It's oakandthieves.com. You can get all the information. But James, what's exciting you the most about the Oak and Thieves project that we're rolling out?
I mean, going back to timing, timing's everything, and it just happened to work for us this time. I know Grease is, probably premature a lot, but this worked out fine.
He did go to pre first.
Yeah. So, the number one question when we post a pic on Instagram, hey, do you ship? hey, do you ship? No,
Yep.
we don't. We can't. It gets us in trouble. It can get the liquor store in trouble. And we know we have people in other places, and we'll hold what we can. But I mean, I don't want to be out thousands of dollars until that stuff hopefully gets to where it needs to go through 15 different hands. So I mean, this was an opportunity for us to share stuff with people that we can't normally share stuff with, and meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And too, even and I was talking to a few people in Georgia, like Andrew Bolin and stuff. He loves the picks that you guys do. He just can't drive 2 hours round trip, in enough time to get there to get it and go back. And so this, he was.
So even for locals, there's a service here, being able to join this club, be a part of it, and to be able to get guarantees.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say before I ask Bob what excites him, other than passing out on a cruise ship, the James brought up, like we can't ship, and that's always we've been a stickler for it, because we don't want to, like James said, we don't want to get people in trouble. We don't want to get liquor stores in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble. It's just not the cost benefit analysis of it wasn't there to be like, yeah, we're forward facing as a media product.
Yeah.
Like, let's go talk about how we're sending something illegally to a bunch of people. That's not, that would never work out for us. But doing the work, we were able to get a partner that has, that is a liquor retailer that has the ability to ship, and we can run our barrels through there. And it's not like, oh, okay, so it's just a store and everything. When you're a part of the club, they make that inventory exclusive for our people.
Yeah.
So when we get the new barrels and we release it to our club, they have a dedicated link that it's not forward facing. You can't just go there unless you are given it by us.
And they cross check
it. So it's not also like there's something really coveted, like Russell's Man 2 perhaps, or something hits that website. It's not like someone's going to be able to take it and go drop it in one of their local Facebook groups and it sells out before the club gets it. It is truly the best of all worlds, because it will be, the retailer is able to do everything on the up and up, all legally. And but they're also able to protect the integrity of the product, so that they'll do the work for the quality control to make sure that the people that are purchasing are indeed supposed to be purchasing it. So I'm super excited about that, as a nerd about rules.
Oh yeah, he's not lying. He's not lying.
Yeah, I'm just like, I love the rules here. And
no James. No,
but it makes me happy that we found
the
best of all of it, because we can do this. We can continue to pick whiskey. We can continue to get it out there, get it out to more people, and build a thriving community around that, while doing it all within the law.
Right.
And so I feel like, we can get into the debates on whether or not the laws are stupid or not, because most of the laws surrounding alcohol in this country are pretty dumb as far as how restricted and things go. But when you play ball within the rules, you don't have to be worried or looking over your shoulder that, you're doing it right. And that's what we want to do here.
Okay.
So
we need to find out what Bob's most excited about, and then we need to get to the levels and talk about them.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Bob, what are you most excited about?
So, we have talked about sharing this with the masses and getting something we love out to other people. So I want to build on that and talk about, not only are we sharing, bourbon and love with our friends, but, we're raising money for great causes. This is just the first, I know, of many different causes that we will support throughout this journey. And the second thing I'm really excited about is some of the experiences and get-togethers that we are working on behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I think that
we'll get to
that's
it.
A good point. And before we go to the tiers, I actually think we should follow back up with Bob about the Four Roses.
Yes,
because this one, the first one is unique. The first one, thank you. That was not plugged in. The first one of our releases will be a little bit unique, because it is this Four Roses, and it is going to be a charity barrel that Bob is already in possession of. So if you've heard us talk about Pour One for George before, we have.
Yep.
It is
right there.
this was Pour One for George 1. And it was one that Bob did for George, his son. I want you to talk about here in a second, because this won't be the only time. It's not like, oh, the first one we're doing stuff to help raise money for charity, but even through the retailer, there are options to do things to raise money for charity, to help grow that, to kind of push good in other places through our hobby and our enjoyment. But Bob, tell us about the significance of Pour One for George, because this Four Roses pick is Pour One for George 2, correct?
Yes, it is. So as many of y'all know, George was born with a genetic condition, and he spent 50 days in the NICU at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And it's a trying time for any parent, because you're waking up every morning, getting down to Choa before traffic hits. My wife was leaving, and
that's
as she was
Children's
leaving,
Healthcare of Atlanta, by the way, just so people understand that. That's a children's hospital in Atlanta. It's very, very famous.
People outside of Georgia don't know this, Bob.
I'm sorry.
No,
okay.
So you're good. You're good.
And you start getting hammered with a lot of things, because the doctors talk to you like you're a medical professional, and you start getting nervous. You don't know what's going to happen once you're able to bring your child home, because your child's getting a lot of care. And there's a group called Focus Plus Fragile based out of Atlanta, and they come visit parents in the NICUs of the hospitals like Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And they sit down and they talk to you about programs available for your child, services that you can apply for, how to apply for those services. If you've ever gone to the DMV, you know that applying for any type of government permit or service is a headache. And I mean, the stack we had to put together for George, no exaggeration, was that thick. And
but I mean, even everybody knows what the DMV is and what you got to do. Like, you guys might not have even known that these resources existed. Right. And this is like big time money that is available to you. And this service comes alongside you as parents and offer counseling, if I'm not wrong, and as well as equip you guys in order to get involved in these government programs and these grants.
Absolutely, they do. And they host continuing education workshops around the city, in different parts, up in the Northeast, in Atlanta, all over Atlanta, to help parents stay educated on what the current programs available are for children with disabilities. They sponsor summer camps. They sponsor dances for kids. They have a gala that they just did this past weekend. It's a great thing. They have grants for wheelchairs. It's an awesome organization, and I'm so glad to be able for the second year to do a charity to benefit them.
And because of that, this first one, and once you join the club, you'll have all the information of how to get it. But this one, Bob is already in possession of, so we will be working with everyone to make sure we get it into your hands. Even if we have to send James on a cross-country road trip, he's done worse for less.
Yeah,
so,
and the majority of them will be dispersed
at Whiskey Weekend, which we know.
Already
looking at the names coming in, we know a lot of them will be traveling up with us to Louisville. Yeah. But like we said, this one, it will be a special exception to the platform, but just because of the uniqueness, it's already in possession, and the way that all the profits will be going to help support charity. Yep. So we'll get more into that for the people that join the club. But that is our first release is actually a 2-pack, right? So
it's an elevated price point,
right,
for both of this, the double bottle situation, but it's all, but all, like you said, 100% of above what was paid for these bottles is going to this charity, 100%. And so I believe what is the price for this and the Starlight pick, which, by the way, we'll talk about this Starlight.
We're doing those on the 15.
We're doing them on the 15, but this is a Starlight pick. That's a bourbon, and that you guys picked with, I believe it was at last Whiskey Weekend.
Yes.
It was at Whiskey Weekend.
It was right before the last Whiskey Weekend. We finally got it.
Y'all stumbled in as if you had been picking whiskey all day.
Oh, yeah.
On that Thursday, that blessed Thursday.
I always said that they got Starlit.
That's a good one.
I know.
So, hey, let's start going through some of the tiers. of what the program, because it's a 4-tiered program, essentially,
Right.
4-tiered club. And the first one, there is only one remaining of as we go live. And that is because we did send it out to our patrons first. That is the fourth, the highest tier. And so it's the level 4. What you get as that, if you're listening and you're like, I'm going to grab that last spot, it is there. It's $150 a month. You get everything beneath it. And which maybe I'm doing this in the wrong order. I should start.
You should start at the 15th.
So if y'all want to go snag that real quick. So the 5th, it's there. I'm going to start. I was going to say like we walk down, but you know what? Because
we're going to add to the previous. We're going to add to the packages and experience.
So level 1.
It's fine, guys. This is our first bourbon club. Okay.
Level 1 is $15 a month to join. What do you get for that? Well, you get an Oak and Thieves t-shirt. You'll get that after 6 months of membership. You get tier 4 access to picks. So it's depending on availability and yield, where you're going to get great whiskey guaranteed when you're in this club. If for some reason we pick a 1 barrel that has 50 bottles, it may, the lowest tier may not be guaranteed of that. If we get for some reason some extremely short barrel, you know how whiskey goes.
Talking about like that Willet we did.
Yes, like if it were something like that happened to be a short barrel, there will be other things to make up for it and to get other whiskey out there. It's not like, I have no opportunity, but we have to be realistic that sometimes things don't always turn out as far as yield level for everyone, and we hope that this continues to grow. But you also get limited access to Oak and Thieves events and in-person pick selections. We're going to be doing drawings for in-person pick selections. There are some higher tiers that are guaranteed a slot on a pick selection. But we are going to do some raffles like, hey, people that could make it to this date.
Yeah.
Put your name in. We go through it.
Well, here's how those raffles work. Honestly, it's you do like a raffle for the entire lot of tiers. Yeah. And then basically, so every tier has an option. Then you go up a tier and you do a drawing for those tiers. Then you go up another tier and you do the drawing for those. So you've got more chances of a drawing the higher up you are. And
so that's at
the highest level.
A month,
you got a great shot.
You're getting access to most everything we do as far as the whiskey once it gets in that level. But there's some variance to it. Then we have level.
Everybody
2.
is aware of barrel programs. Like
this is not.
This is
we didn't invent this.
This is not new. There's some times where things are going to run out before it gets to you, and that's just the way it is.
Then the next level is $25 a month, and so you get those items that were previously mentioned. You will get an exclusive tasting glass with that. Access to events and bottle shares. This is something that is, if you're familiar with our Patreon at the podcast, we have something that we're going to be calling the Meeting of the Thieves. And these are going to be basically kind of like the town hall. They're going to be periodic, very fun, loose, drinking together, a lot of James craziness.
Yeah, James and Bob are kind of heading it up.
Yeah, they will be doing a lot of it. Grease and I will be joining as well, but the Meeting of the Thieves are going to be kind of like that town hall level at the podcast. So you're getting that benefit already, as well as the tasting glass and the t-shirt, and you get access to events and bottle shares.
I think it's going to
tier 3 access to picks. So it's going to keep going up, but as it trickles down from tier 1, this is the third in that row.
Let me mention something about the Zoom meetings and stuff like that. Like if the great part about this is that you guys get these bottles delivered to your door. So you can be in, Salem, North Carolina. You can be in Phoenix, Arizona, and get these picks. The other thing is that we do these hangouts, and you guys can, we're going to be talking about barrel picks that are coming up. We're going to talk about how we pick barrels.
Yeah.
The opportunities that we have coming up, as far as what barrels are available. We'll have you guys kind of vote a little bit back and forth as well on some things. And so it's just going to be a really good time, a community effort virtually to do that.
We also talked about things like if we're having to do a pick remote, like if we get a set of samples and Bob and James are together in Georgia and Grease and I are here together in Tennessee, hey, we're going to be on the internet anyways. Why not make it a meeting of the thieves, and y'all can see us and interact with us while we're picking it live and give us heck about how cruddy we are at picking whiskey, do all that. We're going to, just like the podcast, everything we do is based on community. So it's not just the access to whiskey. I mean, that is the entire reason this is starting, but we want to continue to grow the community and do things like that. Other than that, like you said, there is the elevated access to the limited events and in-person selections, plus additional spots.
So let me go ahead and talk about these limited events. Now, our plan right now is in the fall, we are going to be taking over Beaumont Inn with Dixon Dedman,
similar to a old school whiskey weekend
for batch 1 and 2. And basically it's just going to be a big bottle share. We're going to be picking some barrels while we're there. So if you're a top tier, or if you've been in the drawings or whatever to be a part of those, that is when those will be taking place. We're going to be doing a couple a day for 2 days. And so we're going to be doing 4 picks. Alongside that, we're also getting the unique opportunity to blend with Dixon Dedman for an exclusive release. I can't really necessarily talk about the details of that, but just know that Dixon is on board, gave us the thumbs up, and we're going to be doing a couple of these a year with him, as well as we could be doing the Beaumont Inn experience a couple of times a year, depending on the availability of it.
Yeah, and I think that you always love to tease things out before I've signed off on it.
I didn't tease it out.
No, I'm saying you like to do that. So I'm gonna flip that on you a little bit.
Oh,
that so one thing we 100% are working towards is that the label and the logo or the concept of Oak and Thieves Barrel Company not just being us picking other people's whiskey. If I can put it that way, as a tease that we're working towards, and we have our very legit conversations and things in process.
We're like 3 or 4 months away.
That
very close.
That there could or could not be maybe some private label stuff coming out.
What?
That I said could or could not. I cannot confirm nor deny. But the only way you would be able to get that, based off of knowing what kind of stuff we're looking at and everything, is going to be through this club.
Yeah. So
this isn't going to be you walk into every liquor store in the country, and it would be a very bespoke, small batch release that goes through all the regulatory framework, but that our people may or may not be able to get a part of.
We've been working on this for months. And we have got everything in place minus a few filings.
Sure.
The barrels are available to us. We are ready to rock and roll. We are, extremely excited about it. And we're not going to do traditional distribution on this, at least at first.
Yeah.
It's going to be limited. We're going to see how it is. And the only way to get this private label for Oak and Thieves Barrel Company is going to be being a part of this group. So the great part about that is that we have a lot of stock. And so we have a lot of stock. We currently have 0 barrels to our name. Well, okay. Well, we
massive.
I'm saying Bob has a barrel of Four Roses sitting in his living room, I'm pretty sure right now. But other than that,
no, but
a barrel and a half.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm saying, even if you're not in that sweet spot of 150 or less,
I get what you're saying. That would be something we want everyone to be able to have an experience of getting.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
so we might offer 3 barrels in one particular month, and we give you guys tasting notes, yield of each barrel, where they were stored, all of the information above for you guys to make an educated decision on what you
give you
want.
The tools to be your own boss, just like Enterprise Rental Car.
Right. Oh no. Oh, I can still rent from there.
Okay, you can't do Hertz.
Yeah, I can do that. So anyway, so that is just something to put on y'all's radar that's coming. Probably, could be June, July.
It
could be. I said it could be.
When you softball at Degrees, I got to outdo you. Actually, we have it over here. It's in the house. No, I said may or may not ever happen, and Grease is like, it's there. By the way, I want to ask Bob and James to jump in here for a minute before we go to the next two tiers, because I feel like we've been giving a lot of information and we need some well, if James talks, we need some not well thought out sentences.
All right, so I can't say 3 words, so I'm going to practice. But
yeah, we did give him a list of 3 words.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
before people start asking us, we have picked with the store solely since we started this, and we're not having any issues there. It's just Bob and I wanted something of our own. We don't own a liquor store. We aren't able to do everything we want to do. We are limited. I mean, not a lot, but we are. But this is exactly what we wanted for ourselves. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, like, there's anything wrong with us and Cork and Keg or Daniel or anybody. That's nowhere near the case. We just wanted something of our own, and it's going to make us happy. It's going to, our whole goal with the podcast was to break even, and we don't do that. so
yeah, that was our goal too. We don't either.
Yeah. We never have. We probably, we might not even break even with this, but it's doing something that we have, 50% control of. And Bob is bigger than both of y'all, so it might be 51.
Yeah, but he's a lover, not a fighter.
I thought we were the bourbon owners, so we were at least 51% or more.
Oh yeah, we did write that. They didn't read the bylaws.
They didn't read.
Fine.
Yeah,
I told you to tell me
if
there was anything shady in there.
Your joke would have been better if you said we were the corn owners.
Yeah.
I do want to jump in on that, James, because you did bring up a good point. And on the podcast, we talk about barrel picks all the time that we're drinking from Red Dog, from Tarak at Elixir, from Cool Springs Wine and Spirits with Justin, from Barrels and Brews. Like we love the barrel pick concept, and we love good barrel picks. That doesn't mean that on the podcast, and now it is every time we're talking, it's about something from Oak and Thieves. That doesn't change. We still love them. We're still going to tell you to go buy their picks when they have good stuff in. Same thing with Daniel and Cork and Keg. It's not that this is like a shift, like, you know what, we've decided we can't be friends with anyone at a liquor store. This is a lot of times people are like, man, you talk about Red Dog and you talk about Elixir, but all your friends there went and bought them out. But we're here in Utah, in California, in North Carolina, all over, and they're like, even you guys sometimes are like, hey, can y'all go get me one? Sorry, it's already sold out.
Or heck, Knoxville. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Like, you're not going to travel 3 hours to potentially miss it.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I think that's part of the beauty here is that we still have these friendships and relationships. We're still going to talk up that whiskey. When there's notable whiskey to be had, we think people should go buy it. But we also want to bring more notable whiskey to the market and to the people that follow us and hang out with us and come to our events and things.
And something to note as well, the podcast Patreon, we typically do like 1 or 2 picks a year for our patrons on there. That's going to still be available, that we're going to be doing with a local retailer.
Yeah, like with Don, we've done quite a few.
We don't want to abandon. We're not abandoning anything that we've offered and done on the podcast front. This is an addition to.
Yeah.
And James and Bob might have some picks still come out at retailers and stuff like that. So that's all an option.
Yeah. If Tarak tomorrow said, hey, y'all get down here, I want your input on this barrel, we're going to go down and taste a barrel with Tarak, because we like to taste whiskey and give our input when we can.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, we're
guys,
still
there's so many
bourbon. We're still BS and bourbon, and you're still podcast. And we're just coming together. We're still going to have our show. You're still going to have yours. Grease and I every 6 weeks will still have a no rules.
That is actually not ever happening, but that's fine.
It's 6 weeks. Saturday is 6 weeks. Exactly.
We lost more money on that one live than anything we've done.
I ain't got to do a giveaway every time, Will. We were good. We were good.
It got live anything on camera.
My favorite thing is that Grease ascribes to like, if people are talking about me, no matter what, it's like the no publicity is bad publicity thing.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And Grease is like, people, like we did a thing on the Bourbon Junkies this week.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, people weren't talking about Grease enough. we were having another discussion. So he just takes his shirt off and takes a Sharpie that's on the ground, just starts writing on himself like a child would do. He even colored in one of his teeth to make it look like it's missing. And the next day he's like, "This is the best marketing for us ever." And I said, "I don't think you know what the word marketing is."
Oh man, did you see all the toothless pictures up there?
Yeah, it's not.
It wasn't good marketing. Well, I didn't say it was good marketing.
Yeah, you said it's the best marketing.
Well, I mean, it's the best. Like it,
let me talk about market. Let me talk about marketing.
4 more people than usual were actually talking about it.
Yeah.
This was the best marketing for Red Man in 20 years.
The Russells, man.
You're not wrong.
What you did was embarrassing. You don't know that Will, Bob, and I had a meeting. We almost kicked you out of Oak and Thieves.
Well, we were just going to dissolve the LLC and form a new one.
Yeah, it was.
But then you know what? We're a little lazy, so you remained.
Yeah. Really quick before we continue on, I think we should address these super chats because Andrew's being a champ.
Yeah, we'll hit the super chat support. This is Andrew Bolin supporting the channel. Keep the shirt on. That's because Zach Jones has been poking the bear.
Andrew Bolin, by the way, is
Did we get $1
in the top
for Bob's shirt off?
No, I don't think anyone did that. So. Let's see. Quick question. If we're on a meeting of the thieves, can we use the bathroom? James will probably be hosting it, so he will be in the bathroom for this.
That could be a green light. Green light on that one.
Yeah. Let's see. Another from Drew Bolin. Just please do us a huge favor. Please, please, please don't bring a pick in that you wouldn't be pumped to buy. Sorry. Pass on them if they aren't great. I thought he was talking about the whiskey 100%. Pump for a minute.
That is my number one rule.
Yep. 100%.
Number one rule, Andrew.
Yep.
Oh man. No, James is real good at saying hell no.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's gotten us in trouble with some distributors and some distillers.
So when they're now we didn't do our due diligence before forming a partnership, because what they're saying is like, man, we've already burned some bridges.
Right.
No. Somebody redid their whole process because I said it tasted bad.
Yeah. We were honest.
What do you mean they redid their whole process?
They took our show and took it to their board and said, this is what the general public thinks of what we're putting on the shelf. We need to reconfigure how we're putting this product to market. And the board agreed, and now they're putting out something quite a bit better.
Great.
You got to be honest.
There you go.
Old James and Bob, old influencer. They went influencer mode.
All right, so we're going to move on to the last 2 tiers. And
hold on.
Go ahead, Bob.
Hold on. Now, because I wanted to share something now. This is something that some people know about, maybe not everybody knows about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How long have I been a part of the podcast Patreon?
You were one of the very first patrons.
At the $20 mark.
Yeah, it was our highest level.
Yeah.
When we first debuted, it was called Virtual Barn Night. Its level still exists. It had to go up $10.
Right.
I'm about to say it still exists in what, and not in my form.
Well, no.
Yeah, so, you couldn't figure out how to leave it and go to the next one like we told everybody else to. So you were just still there, and so we renamed that group.
Yeah.
And I think back on it, and because again, I was shocked to find out that podcasting isn't free. I was lied to, James. I was lied to. But no, because I've always loved what y'all have done. The community that has been built around podcasters and the friends that I've made that I wouldn't have made. I mean, there's a lot of people. It's like, I would never have met you.
Half of BS and Bourbon wouldn't be there.
What?
I said half of BS and Bourbon wouldn't be there.
Right.
Without podcasting.
And this right here is just taking that and adding to it and going to the next level.
That is a good point, because we've mentioned the pod cruise and we've mentioned Bob, but how early that was in the podcast adventure. I mean, that was, I don't even think we were a full year in when we went on that cruise.
Right.
And Bob and Katie were 2 individuals that took a chance on going on vacation with us, and we had a blast and made memories. And we knew him from from our interactions online, from I don't even think we had Patreon at that point.
No.
And so our first experience meeting him and quite a few other people as well, like Mama Marcia, James Jenkins, Michelle, Brian that lives here in Nashville. A lot of these people that we got to meet early on were because of the pod cruise, and that kind of launched us forward. But like, so Bob has been with the podcast since the beginning. And if that's a testament to community that we have tried to foster and grow, is that now that we're doing something with Bob, who we would have never met under the circumstances if it weren't for the podcast and the focus on community.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So get back to your tiers. I was going to throw up, I have my own tier. You know,
you do have your own tier.
He does have his own tier.
It is mocking you, and it says you get no extra benefits. I don't think you get any benefits.
Well, and it's because it was a cheaper level, and we had people reach out just like, hey man, that's the same level and I can't see it. Like it's the same amount of money that I'm paying and I can't see what he has. And so we had to we had to address that the best way we could. So we just renamed it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now, this next level
next level
is honestly, things shift in a big way. And it's one of my favorite. This is my favorite level of the four. Well, minus obviously the big level, but if I was getting involved in a barrel program, this is the level that I would be able to afford and do.
So you get everything that comes with level 1 and level 2 in level 3. $50 a month for level 3. After your first year,
this is so fun.
After your first year as a club member, you get a handmade, personalized copper whiskey thief.
Yep, with your nameplate on it.
Yep.
James, talk to us about that.
You get some copper, and you
hell of a sale.
No. Tell about Mandy at Four Roses.
Oh, well,
you took your own thief.
Yeah. I put it in my belt loop like a sword and whipped it out. And first did it at Starlight, and then I took it, but Mandy loved it. So, I'm not a professional. I don't know what they would call the copper person.
Coppersmith.
Okay. Yes. Coppersmith. I'm a smith, but not a coppersmith.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, yes. So I thought this design would be better. And basically all I did is have a bigger hole at the end. And, it wouldn't get stuck with char in it or anything like that. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the barrel and just sit there. It just hangs out up top or not really up top, but in let's say the bottom quarter up, and gets good whiskey out. It filled up 8 glasses in one pull. So Mandy stole it. She would not let me take it back home.
Yeah, we were like, hey, can you show it tonight? He's like, no. She still has it. It's at Four Roses.
And this is the barrel program manager at Four Roses.
I do want to bring up, because Drew Rowland said, y'all better buy copper now. It's getting expensive lately. As if James isn't just rating AC units.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's snatching that. Yeah, we should probably
not put that on the internet.
We should go ahead and actually acquire some copper there, James. We're gonna need to do that. We'll front you the money.
So you get the handmade personalized whiskey thief after a full year. You're entered in a drawing for an in-person barrel pick attendance. So this is going to go above and beyond what some of the lower tiers have as far as access to that.
Essentially you're going to be a part of 3 drawings. So you've got a higher chance.
Your tier 2 access to picks. So in this tier, there's only 10 people ahead of this tier, because the next one is a limited tier.
Yep.
So this is essentially, other than that first group, it's open season in this tier. Elevated access to Oak and Thieves limited events and person pick selection. So that's what Grease referenced earlier, is that you're getting another chance here. Essentially 3 drawings to all those events, and then everything else that goes along with it. And finally, we have, unless it went while I was here looking, that we have one left at the $150 a month level.
No, we don't.
It's gone.
Brian Griffin. about 30 minutes ago. Snagged it.
Well, there you go.
Get
So
it.
that's basically first pick. You are guaranteed 2 bottles of each pick. And
Brian's
that,
flexing, man.
guaranteed access to the limited events. Grease talked about the Beaumont Inn event and things like that. Guaranteed in-person pick opportunity. You are, like we said, we'll give a date, say like July 31st. This is not one on the calendar.
Right. Yeah, don't put it on
But
the calendar.
it's like, hey, here are some dates coming up. Who can make it to these? And you will be able to come to an in-person pick as they come. So that tier is sold out, but as with we found out with like virtual barn night, that people go, they get whiskey, they enjoy it, and sometimes they're, for whatever reason, they're like, I'm going to change tiers, I'm going to do something different. So those will be coming available.
Dude,
you're going to get a thief at this level as well. So
how baller would it be if like we're just randomly at a distillery and we all pull our thieves out and start like sword fighting with them?
Every
That
time
sounds kind of erotic.
you make me nervous about life with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just sitting there. Oh, by the way, something fun too at these picks. We're bringing Patrick with us and we're making videos of every pick. So the people that get to go on these picks with us, well, according to availability, obviously, if Patrick can't come, but I would still bring a camera and shoot some stuff. So
I can hold it.
But you can hold it. But yeah, and so it's also an opportunity to be in some of our videos with us, and really have a good time with it. And so if you've seen if you go to our YouTube channel, we've got a 1-minute teaser video, and an extended cut of our Four Roses pick that we did on this, that is available for you guys to go and see.
We are, and we should have probably put it in the description, but if you're in the podcasters group, we'll repost it. Or if you just go to youtube.com/the podcast, there's a trailer and a full-length video about that Four Roses pick. It's a lot of fun. I wasn't able to go, but I love watching it.
This was about 4 months ago, right, guys? Like, was it November, October?
It's November.
Okay.
Yep, it was in November.
November 5th.
Yeah, so if you go to our channel and just kind of go back into November, you should be able to see those videos to kind of watch it. And really fun content. We're loud and excited.
We all love Hardee's too, which is what really brings this group together, and that showcased in that video very well.
Oh, dude, free Hardee's, by the way, on every pick.
Oh, yeah.
For everybody.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you're coming,
No.
full of Hardee's.
I said we are not going under. I mean, we're not going in the red. So Grease cannot order for everybody. Like $84 worth of biscuits.
How to make it expensive? Yeah,
$84 in biscuits. Damn.
Grease, that can come out of our share.
Well, no, well, yeah, for sure. Well, it already did that first time. You weren't able to go on the pick.
Yeah.
You weren't able
I only had one biscuit.
Oh, that is fair. Yes, we did pay for that together.
Yeah, we did.
Welcome.
I was like, yeah, can I get 6 double cheeseburger biscuits?
How great is the double cheeseburger biscuit?
I made everybody try one.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It was a favorite. Except Andy Payne, he was in the back struggle bussing.
Because of course he was struggle bussing. He went live on our channel randomly in the middle of the night, the night before.
Right.
Is this thing on? I'm Andy Payne. I'm in the Nook.
I got tasting notes.
Yeah, and then I think he was like, if you call right now, it's only 4 payments at $25.
Yeah, because he was a
like HSN or something.
Yeah, like Home Shopping Network or QVC or something. He was one of those hosts. He was a host for it back in the day.
Yeah, he's got
the
that
hand model.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Who of all of us? I don't think it's me. Grease is looking rough too. Who's going to be the hand model for the thief? Like when we have like promo shots of it.
The damn dude that made it.
Patrick is going to be.
Oh yeah, no. Patrick's going to model. Patrick's going to model everything that we can get him to model.
Yeah,
without paying him extra.
Oh,
look at those little sausage fingers.
I can have Copenhagen under my fingernail.
Those would be great if you put them on a Hardee's biscuit.
James, your knuckles look like they're like cut off and like your blood's just trying to get past your knuckles from
Did
your
you have
hand.
those fingertips reattached at some point? Did they?
No. What are y'all talking about my hands for?
Lord. Well, he does that water. He does that water treatment or something like that. He must have put his hand in like some acid or something like that.
I have before.
Is he trying to like get rid of his fingerprints so that he doesn't get caught?
Oh yeah, no, he's
I'm
one
a
of those,
damn thief.
He's
yeah,
one.
Yeah, you're stealing that HVAC units.
Well, he's one of
I'm a
those
damn thief, son.
He's one of those backwoods Georgia boys. So yeah, he's off the grid as much as he possibly can be.
Yeah, that's fair.
What a better way to get off the grid than wipe your Identikid fingerprint off the map.
We're gonna do some other fun media things surrounding this. Maybe some drop some feeds of audio into our patrons from time and again in the club members. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I have a feeling that Oak and Thieves doesn't necessarily have to be.
It could be a little bit
family friendly.
No, it'll be more loose, and I don't think it's not going to be like a public facing feed. It's just going to be for club members.
Right. Exactly.
You invited
right.
me. I mean, it can't be family friendly.
Grease invited you.
Right. I'm going to have to develop a third personality for this.
No, that's not how this works.
Well, because
no.
Okay.
No,
well,
you don't develop personalities, Grease. That's an illness.
Well,
you need help for that.
But
you don't need to say, I need to be another person.
Well, have you ever met Greasor?
Yes. I created the Greasor.
No. That's Grease.
No, Greasor is when the Wheeze called you Greasor.
Oh, you're so right.
Yes.
You're so right. But Greasor is just older, like elderly.
This is just you
and
in current
literally
form.
And at his job, he's basically got tenure, like nothing matters.
You're actually a psychopath.
Right.
But it's cool.
I know it is cool.
I'm making get to the 15.
I'm making Psychopath cool again.
All right. We need to get to the 15. Bob and James, y'all want to hang out with us while we drink this whiskey?
Well, they got the same daggum whiskey. They should give their buy bar pass rating.
Let's do the 15.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's buy.
yeah. If you would be like, no, kind of a pass on this one. Knowing you, Grease.
No, so this is more of a time for us to talk about tasting notes, what it's like. This is a little less about do we buy it, do we bar it, do we pass it.
This is Paul Weck. So essentially, tomorrow, so if you sign up now, you don't get charged until March 4th. That is March 1st, which is tomorrow. So we're introing it today, but the first month that it all populates starts tomorrow. So you're officially in the club. Then we are going to send out an email or a message through Patreon to everyone to say things like, here's the private Facebook group where you go, where we'll have a lot of communications. If that's working, we'll stick with it. I know a lot of people use Discord. We may try that.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what the best way to communicate is, but we'll also be able to export all the email addresses that you sign up with. And so we'll be sending out an email probably from one of our podcast accounts.
It's very important for your information with Patreon is up to date and correct.
Yes, so that we can get everything to you. But we will have special instructions on how to get this. And one other thing we do say, so it is, and this is not unique to Barrel Clubs, but I do want to make sure it is, that you will purchase the bottles through the retailer.
Yes.
So it's not like the $15 a month. You just get sent a bottle. It is still like all Barrel Clubs of this. You're a part of the club. You get exclusive access to these picks
at retail as well, unless it is out of our hands. I'm in discussion right now of getting I want this so bad. I'm not going to tell what it is because Will says, don't overpromise, underdeliver.
Yeah, I would definitely not.
There is an option here that we have. However, it's going to be elevated in cost, not because of us, because of them, because they know that what they can get. Now, however, they are decreasing the amount that they would normally release this as to help us out, to help our people out. They know it's a young club. So we're just working through that. But outside of something that's out of our control, it's all retail plus shipping.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
Yeah. So that is, and if there is the other good thing about the club, our goal for the first year is to do an average of one a month. So we want to get 12 offerings out to everyone in this first year.
Yeah.
It'll be great if we go above that. And I think we can, but that's what we're setting our benchmark as. The other good thing, there are some clubs you have to buy into, and then you are also required to buy. So that like I am buying into this group and I'm required to buy 3 of every pick. There are a lot of clubs like that. And that's how they get access to the barrels. We hopefully will have volume and enough that you also have the luxury. We're not going to put anything out there that we are not 100% behind. We make that promise to you. We would rather double up another month and get that out there than to say, well, we need something out and this isn't great, but we're up on, so we want to make that promise, but you also have the luxury. If it's a brand that you're like, I have never had anything that tastes good from them, that is that's whiskey, like there are some things that you may say, I just don't like that brand. You're not forced to purchase that.
Right.
So once again, everything we put out, we're going to put our name, all over it. So we want to stand behind that, and we want to make sure they're really good. So, but all that to answer Paul's question is that the info on how, and it's the 2-pack of the Starlight and the 4 Roses that is going to pour one for George. It is that charity thing. So this 2-pack is an elevated over retail, but it is not a secondary priced bottle, but it is going to the charity. So that is the reason of that. And we'll have all the instructions of how that will be done. Directly communicated to the members. There's no reason to go in the ins and outs of that on a live for other people that may not be joining. So
I'm a little worried about who's putting together these instructions because I've seen some stuff Grease has put together lately.
It's called Whiskey Weekend and it's badass. Is what it is, Bob. I don't know if you know this or not, but batch 4 people are going to be talking about it.
Well, you put our dumb ass in there, so I mean, what's wrong with you?
Right. And that's after I know how y'all are, because y'all came to batch 3. Dude, I'm telling you right now,
there are also, if you want to come,
my wife is coming 90% because of BS and Bourbon. Because
hey, so is Mama Grease.
That was the perfect jump clap, right?
That was in its entirety. No, my wife and I, one of my favorite memories of last year of 2021 as a whole was sitting front row with Lauren and just hearing her cackle because she's from Georgia, and like everything that they were saying was just so relatable and it was hilarious.
So if you want to come hang out though with Oak and Thieves Barrel Company, there are still a few slots open at Whiskey Weekend. So you can go to whiskeytainment.com or the podcast.com/whiskey weekend. Either one takes you to the form. And we will have a lot of current Oak and Thieves members there as well. So you'll get to meet that. We could do some hangout and introduce everyone that is a member while we're there.
And we've got at least 1, maybe 2 picks happening during Whiskey Weekend.
So if you've had a few tonight and you're ready to roll the dice on not only a bourbon club, but also a vacation, whiskeytainment.com or the podcast.com/whiskey weekend. All right, let's go to the 15.
Hit the music.
All right, so now we're doing the 15. That was supposed to be 30 minutes. It's an hour. This is great.
Right.
Patrick texted
right
you.
On schedule.
He may be trying to get in the house.
Sorry, I'm actually going to be closer to 9:30.
Oh, perfect.
All
right.
We are behind.
Cody Breeding, there will be security. I apologize. You can't crash the party. We had people that weren't with our group that tried to do that last year. And sorry. So there will be security checking people. And I'm not going to lie, people? Cody, I've looked at your mug for quite a long time on town halls. I'll sniff you out now that you've given me your plans. All right, I'm going to come back from the 15. Let's start with based off proof. We should probably start with the Starlight, right?
No.
4 Roses is lower proof.
Yeah,
Start with Four
Starlight
Roses.
packs a punch.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it's younger. It's a little bit more punchy.
All right, let's go. All right,
It's so good.
let's talk about it in the
Yeah,
show.
I'm not gonna get in the weeds.
And we're back from the 15.
Some say we never left, Will.
All right, we're pouring up right now, and James and Bob are sticking with us because they happen to have this whiskey too. This is the first ever Oak and Thieves whiskey pick, and so this is an honorary pop to kick off this barrel club.
Get after it.
Oakandthieves.com for all of you listening on the podcast feed.
Heck of a first cork pop. 1, 2. It's a daggum 11-year-old OESO from freaking Four Roses.
Yeah.
Like, this is so great.
So for those of you that don't know, that's the 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malted barley.
And again, we have these black Glens available at the podcast.com/store. We've got an Oak and Thieves one there, and we've got the podcast. The Oak and Thieves Black Glen is not the drinking glass that you're getting.
The tasting glass.
The tasting glass you're getting on Patreon for Oak and Thieves. This is not a good tasting glass because you can't see the color.
Yeah, this is actually, they made these black Glencairns for like blind tasting.
So it's perfect for blind tasting. And 2, if you want to get 4 of them, you can.
All right, so the color on it already, I mean, you can tell it's 11 years old. It's got a lot more richness to it.
Oh, it's yeah, I mean, there is an oak nose, but it's like a candied oak.
That's
floral.
A good assessment.
It's 113.6 proof. 11 years old.
Floral. But almost everything that day was floral, really. If it wasn't
it
floral,
was. It was hard to because of that. It was so hard to distinguish between the mash bills.
I don't think she could put them on a card and you would have got them right.
Oh God!
I mean, so you've got an underline underneath the floral and the oak. You do have like a sugar baby.
Yeah,
not a sugar daddy, a sugar baby smell.
So
they're two different things.
I agree with that 1,000%.
That y'all are idiots. Y'all are stupid. Sugar babies and sugar daddies are the exact same candy. It's just
first of all, here's a question. Here's a question. Do you think that the small Reese's cups and the 2-pack large Reese's cups are the same candy?
Yes.
You're a fool.
You're damn, I knew you were dumb, but I didn't think you were that dumb.
Oh, in the sugar babies, there's this hard coating.
Yes, there is.
Precisely.
Yeah.
A sugar baby you hold in your mouth.
Do you think a chocolate chip and an M&M are the same candy?
Absolutely. Well, semi-sweet? No, absolutely not. They have.
I'm not talking about semi-sweet.
They have to be like full-on sweet.
Both milk chocolate. Yeah. So Grease thinks chocolate chips and M&Ms are the same.
They could be.
Man, you're dumb. So OESO is, according to the lovely hang tag card that comes with it, it's fruity red berries and medium body, which I call Grease fruity red berries.
I have red
all the time.
Red berry is that's solid.
No, yeah, you can get that.
Yeah, you get like a matured fruit on it. I also get the sweetness that they're talking about. A soft oak, but very, very there.
It's a sweet spot.
Muted oak.
Muted oak.
I would say like it's more delicate. Like I don't think it's over oaked by any means.
I think it is almost the perfect sweet spot of oak because it's very apparent, the wood.
Yeah. But when you smell this, you know it's special. Like you know it's aged.
Right. Right. And I mean, first of all, 11 years is for a Four Roses pick.
That's
11
higher.
years is high.
Yeah.
So you could be concerned seeing that, like, man, is that going to be an oak bomb? It's not an oak bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It's as Bob would say, muted.
I'd say the majority of red roses of Four Roses picks, Bob and James, and y'all can correct me. Y'all are way more
red roses.
Y'all are way more versed on Four Roses picks, but I mean, I have a ton of them, but a lot of them are in the 9-year range, like typically.
Yep. 10 is an older, and then once you get to 11, there's not been many OESOs, especially not recently, that have got over 10 years old. Of course, there was the famous picks that were 16 and stuff like that, but they just typically don't. They move through them fast enough. They typically don't get that old.
Yeah.
And I love the finish on this.
Something that I would like to note. One, this was completely blind and selected.
Yep.
This was not picked on because it was an OESO recipe.
No.
This was, we were on a whiteboard. It's on the video that we talked to you about. We literally voted on it blind. It almost was unanimous for this pick, and then when she revealed it, it was OESO. And I remember Bob just kind of being slightly emotional, but excited about it, and just saying like, "This is going to raise so much money for Pour One for George for what is it plus? I can't remember what it is. Fragile plus, yeah, focus plus fragile.
Focus,
with Pour One for George,
just focus.
Yeah. With Pour One for George, we were able to raise, I think, right at 7,000. Our goal was 10 for this one, and the way we've got it structured, we're going to hit 10. Depending on some other factors, we may be able to get a little bit more.
So buy bar pass.
Yeah, this
oakandthieves.com.
Oh, and it's I mean, number one, this is freaking money. But James and Bob have had one. This is a fresh crack out of my stock. James and Bob have had one open for a while. Go ahead and tell us like a little bit about like kind of how it opens up a little bit with some air.
So we fresh cracked the Four Roses and the Starlight when Grease came by, a week and a half ago. Pregnancy brain or birth brain, sorry. The day we opened them, Starlight spanked its butt. The Starlight was better at that point.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It is opened up, and I drank both in the hospital. At the exact moment my wife was giving birth.
And you're talking about this Starlight, by the way.
That comes in the set.
Yep, that's part of the duo set.
They are both changing for the better, but the Four Roses, I mean, it hit a little bit of nitrous.
I've almost killed an entire bottle of the Four Roses thus far. And it just keeps getting better.
I want to see if it'll do that again. Oh, it didn't do that.
Bob's belt screaming.
But you know what I'm talking about when you're I'm not going to say what cheeks, but when your cheeks are, and it's got that.
You could say butt cheeks.
I don't think I want to. I was trying to help you not edit.
I don't think, man, you just really don't know what I don't want you to say.
You don't want me. Butt cheeks are fair game.
If you had said, man, it sounds like you're prying your butt cheeks off of a vinyl seat or something like Meemaw's couch.
No, I was going to say when you're tooting with those butt cheeks spread, it was like that.
That's not.
Y'all all done it.
No, but I'm saying
y'all all done it.
I'm saying that's not vulgar.
Like it's.
I don't think you know the things that you say.
When you need
clearly, Grease has never read Urban Dictionary.
When you need that extra relief, you just kind of like
No, I don't know. Explain.
I can't wait for Will to have this. This is your bottle, by the way, because I gave that away to my cousin Cody.
I'm aware. Yeah, that's what these guys were like. I said, man, I haven't tried the Starlight. And they're like, well, a bottle was sent up with Grease. I said, he gave his away and then said, I have to keep yours here. And I'm just like, I don't understand.
I've ordered 4 more, right, Bob?
Yeah. Which Grease has 4. Grease is a member of every Patreon tier. It's fantastic. You can convince Grease. That's how he got this Glencairn at the podcast because
Will was like, how did you get there? I'm like, I'm a patron. I did it so that I could see what other people see. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
so fine. And all of my patrons that I have, Patreons that I have, just subtract 1 person from it. And then you have the real number.
Just don't even worry about it.
Say it again.
Have you joined Oak and Thieves yet?
I'll be there.
Yeah, he has 2 of the top spots. He's holding them.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there just holding
for a rainy day.
It's like, well, I tried to cash in our Wells Fargo credit card rewards for them, and then they got lost.
Yeah. So That
That's
was
fine.
Now
partially
this
mine.
Starlight has opened up since I cracked mine.
So ours is a fresh crack, and it's 119.6 proof. It's 4 years old. It is
Now James and I love us some Starlight.
Yeah, so let me read the back. Because Starlight Distillery straight bourbon whiskey single barrel releases are made with sweet corn mash. So it's a sweet mash, which is cool because that means they're putting new yeast in every time. It's not holding back that little bit of spent mash every time. Peerless does the same thing. I think it has a really cool result. It's a more expensive process. Wilderness Trail does, yeah. Then distilled in copper pot stills, so it's going to have a lot more flavor. A column still is going to be able to get a lot more of the fatty acids and things out of it than a copper pot still. If you've never had copper pot still whiskey, aging occurs in, is it Huber? Is that how you say it, or Huber?
Yep, Huber.
That's what I thought. Huber's old rick house, situated on the 7th generation Huber estate, established in 1843. New 53-gallon charred oak barrels hold the spirits for a minimum of 4 years, after which the bourbon is bottled at cask strength, non-chill filtered. Enjoy.
Lord knows we need family now more than ever. I want you to hold both of those up and compare the color. Hold it sideways so that you
two
can
different
see
bottles. This one is thicker, so I mean I can see they're both.
How old is this Starlight Pit, guys?
It's 4 years old.
It's 4 freaking years old, and it's not the same, decently close to an 11-year-old.
4 years old in a 53-gallon barrel as well. Sometimes you'll see.
Oh, right.
You'll see dark whiskey that are half size, different funky sizes, but not
21. Is it 21 gallon? I don't know. This is.
I get a lot of sweetness on it.
Sweet gold is what I would say that this is.
Bob has some tears in his eyes when he took a sip.
I'm going to tell you, as this has opened, the vanilla has really started to come out like an aged vanilla.
Dark Horse Whiskey of the Year, dude.
You know, it's
I feel like we should not bundle this and just do it for month 2.
119.5 proof, but it drinks.
This tastes like 94 proof.
I would not go that far. You just have broken.
This is 94 proof.
I would say
on the nose.
I would say it drinks like a Russell's. You know, like it's got a backbone to it. It's not a weak whiskey.
Yeah, 105, 110.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But it does not drink almost 120 proof.
Oh my gosh.
It's not astringent for a 4-year-old.
On the nose, you can pick up on the astringency.
But I think that
palate, way.
As it opens up, that'll develop into more vanilla barrel note. Yeah, man, that is the finish for days. And it drinks like an 8-year-old whiskey. It drinks.
Dude,
like.
whatever these like sweat pockets are in your mouth. What are these called?
Saliva.
No. Salivatory glands.
Yes.
What is this right here,
I think they're
Will?
called cheeks.
No. This is a cheek. I'm talking about back
Your
here.
jowl.
If that's what they're called, I feel like that's a made-up word.
That's what it is on like a hound dog.
A jowl?
Yeah, your jowls.
Your glands are under the tongue.
KentuckyJowl.com.
That should be our private label. That should be a sticker.
Should I grab that domain like yesterday?
Kentucky Jowl, and it's just an old bloodhound.
Right. And he's
just drooling over the whiskey.
Just saggy. Yeah, saggy.
Yeah. That's fun.
empty bottles everywhere and just drool coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Does that sound fun?
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
It's just got to be a male dog and not pregnant, or there would be a lot of questions.
Okay.
What?
All right.
We can't have the Red Rocket out either.
Red Rocket.
Yes, golly, we're getting a little glazed.
All right.
We got to do the after party for patrons on the podcast.
Yes, we got to
with Bob and James tonight.
Yeah, we got to finish this.
Well, James has got to ask Diane, but
if we finish now, he can have a few more minutes.
Right.
Yeah, Starlight fresh crack. It was cinnamon caramel bomb for sure.
Oh, I get the cinnamon. Yeah, almost like a cinnamon Pop-Tart.
I get more cinnamon on the nose than the palate.
But as it opens up, that cinnamon starts to melt,
In my cinnamon, I'm not talking about like red hot cinnamon candy. I'm talking about like the actual cinnamon stick. Is what I'm getting.
Guys, it has got this sweet tea viscous finish to me. Back palate, like if I'm tasting it on my back palate and breathing through my nose to kind of circulate the air, like I'm getting black tea, like a sweet black tea note, like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So if
I've
you
never
like
drank
that,
black tea. I know sweet tea.
Well, I mean, that
it's
is.
just, I mean, this is
It's brown
Sweet
tea.
is black tea.
So is it?
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Just,
I mean, y'all
sugar.
taught me something tonight.
I mean, I just say black tea, like it's like got a little bit more body. You know what I mean?
All
Like a
right.
breakfast tea.
This
Like
was
it's
going
Earl
so
Grey?
well.
It was going
and then we
great,
hit-
and then James messed
All right,
it
so
up.
I'm a
Hey,
buy
the
on both
whiskey's
of
good.
these. If you join, I mean, they're incredible. This is a
All right.
heck of a start off.
Before we go, I just want to say the stats here for our podcast audience on the Four Roses. It's 56.8%, so coming in at 113
Math is hard.
0.6, 113.6 proof.
I already said that.
Warehouse number MW, barrel number 25-2N.
Hey,
It's,
the release at the gift shop was a sister barrel to this, and it beat it last night in a blind in
We beat
Nashville.
it.
the fact that
Yeah.
James knows that.
I know
We
everything,
beat
Well,
son.
Bob just did.
It's
First of
perfect.
all, if you would read the daggum text thread, the fact that you're shocked hearing
No,
that,
I'm
the fact
communicating to
James
our
knows
people.
that.
Yes, I know about the text thread. I'm communicating to the podcast world that I'm just saying, like, James knows his Four Roses.
James knows
So
his
you can-
whiskey.
so you can-
don't limit
okay.
it.
James knows his whiskey, and I'm just saying,
Grease
like,
called this red roses earlier. So
Yeah.
red roses,
Hey, just
red
for-
roses, send Starlight right over.
Hey, for comparison, the sister barrel from the gift shop that Brent Elliott picked
yeah,
is going for $300 to $350 online right now.
And yes, and so what is this duo that 100% of the profit is going to charity, Bob? What is that price point that we decided on
for 2 bottles.
for 2 bottles?
210.
$210.
$210, and this is obviously an elevated price point.
Right. This is
It's
not
the first
norm.
one. You're getting 2 bottles for that, and like James just said, you know, this is not a cheap bottle. You know, outside of paying retail for it, but you're getting it under secondary, and 100% is going to charity of all the profit from both of these bottles.
Right.
So, an honor to be a part of that from Will and I. Well, I don't know if from
Oh,
Will.
hey,
from me.
also look at this, by the way, and this tells you something.
What?
This is from Drew Boland. Oh, wow, that's a good deal. Yes, it's still an
Yeah, it's
incredible deal
yeah.
to be able to get the Four Roses 2 killer
Es-
picks.
especially when you taste this Starlight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
No, it's good.
Starlight is stupid. We're bringing both, by the way. Well, I don't know if we're bringing the Four Roses, but I don't have enough of them. But I'm bringing a couple of bottles of Starlight to the lounge at Whiskey Weekend to open up and let people try. So a lot of people are going to be able to have them themselves anyway. But if you don't have them, I'd love for you guys to try it out and see what you think, and maybe join our barrel program after coming to Whiskey Weekend.
everyone, Bob and James, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for partnering with us in Oak and Thieves Barrel Company. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Your only homework is to go to oakandthieves.com. That takes you straight to the Patreon interface to join the club. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's also going to be you're going to get to hang out with us, do a lot of stuff with us, get to know Bob and James.
And I want
more.
everybody to
If
know.
you're a podcaster, go ahead. Oh.
I want everybody to know, if you go to that website, you're not gonna be tracked.
You're a heck of a salesman, Grease.
No,
Heck of a salesman.
I'm telling them
You
they're not
didn't-
going to be
You
tracked.
didn't even have to put that seed in people's mind.
Well, I mean, some websites they track you.
I'm killing your channel. All right. So if you will join us in this fun new barrel program, oakandthieves.com, if you are listening to this later, even if it's months down the road, this is going to be ongoing. It's going to keep getting better. Go to oakandthieves.com and join us there. That's the only thing I am going to promote, other than the podcasters.com is how you join our private Facebook group for the podcast, where we'll send some more info about this. But oakandthieves.com is where you join this barrel Program Club. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we don't know Jack, but we'll drink it. At the end broadcast. Oh, I'll end the broadcast.
At the end broadcast.
Also, go to